Your Excellency, the Acting Prime Minister of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mayor Motley, Your Excellency, Dr. Terence Sadru, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Your Excellency, Deacon Michel, Prime Minister of Grenada, Your Excellency, Lucia Whitbure, Vice President of Namibia, Professor Benedict Orama, President and Chairman of the Board of the African Export-Import Bank, Honorable Ginger Moxie, Minister of Grand Bahama, Bahamas, Executive of African Bank, Captains of Industry, members of the press, distinguished delegates, brothers, sisters, and fellow Africans from Africa and the diaspora. It is with profound and enduring pride that I stand before you on this occasion of the Global Africa Diaspora Day, celebrated within the vibrant framework of the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2025. As chair of the IATF Advisory Council, it is an honor to witness this great convergence of minds, cultures, and ambitions, united by a single conviction, mission, and hope that the destiny of Africa and her diaspora is inseparable, and our future must be built together in the spirit of global Africa to avoid the shame, exploitation, and indignity of the past: slavery, slave trade, and colonialism. I recall vividly the last Diaspora Day in Cairo. The energy, the ideas, the commitment. It was a testament to the transformative power of unity. Today, here in Algiers, we move from celebration to consolidation, from memory to momentum, from heritage to a future defined by economic sovereignty, cultural renaissance, and global relevance. The African diaspora is not a footnote in our history. It is a headline in our present and our future. From the forced dispersal of millions during the transatlantic slave trade to the voluntary migration of professionals, entrepreneurs, and students in modern times, the diaspora has become a formidable force. Today, more than 350 million people of African descent live outside the continent. They form vibrant communities in the Americas, Europe, the Caribbean, Asia, and beyond. Nigeria alone my own country, counts nearly 20 million diaspora citizens, ranging from descendants of those taken during slavery and slave trade to today's global professionals and entrepreneurs. They are doctors in Houston, engineers in London, fintech innovators in Toronto, cultural ambassadors in Sao Paulo, and creative leaders in Bridgetown. Across every discipline, business, politics, science, music, and sport, the diaspora is shaping the world while carrying Africa in their hearts. As the world transitions towards a multipolar economic order, Africa must not remain a passive observer. We must not only be architects of our own destiny, but builders of our present and future. As active participants in global decision-making process and fair share of world labor and resource allocation and acquisition. The theme of today's gathering, collaboration without borders, is not just aspiration. It is actionable and must be relentlessly pursued. African Union and African Bank have laid the foundation for a collective global Africa, where even the Atlantic should be a unifying bridge rather than a separating wall. Diaspora, as the sixth region of the AU, and African Bank's regional office in Barbados, are glaring indications of bridge building across the Atlantic. The Intra-Africa Trade Fair, under the auspices of African Bank, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, and the African Union, is precisely the platform. It is where African business meet African market. It is where our diaspora reconnects with the continent, not only emotionally, but economically, structurally, culturally, and socially, learning from one another and working together. That is why I am especially proud that today we mark the commencement of trading under the Africa Trade and Distribution Company, ATDC, a bold step to streamline intra and extra-African commerce, empower enterprises, and strengthen supply chain from production to processing and distribution to consumption. These are not simply bridges of goods and services. They are bridges of belief, of trust, innovation, and shared prosperity. For far too long, Africa's story has been told by others. This has to stop. We must own our narrative and tell our own stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but with commitment and resolve that never again shall we suffer what collectively we have suffered in slavery, the slave trade, and colonization. We were exploited, exported, impoverished, and destroyed to enrich others in Europe and the Africas and the Americas. To further anchor our shared aspiration, we are calling for the establishment of the Global Africa Commission, a bold, unifying mechanism designed to institutionalize collaboration between Africa and the diaspora. This will be our own institution, established by ourselves, designed by ourselves, and to serve our purpose. This commission will serve as a permanent platform for policy coordination, investment facilitation, cultural exchange, and youth empowerment across continents, not only across Africa, but across other parts of the world where we have Africa descent and Africa diaspora. It will ensure that the voices of Africans abroad are not only heard, but integrated into the continent's development agenda and giving space in global division of labor, decision-making process, and resource sharing. Through strategic partnership, diaspora, innovation, and inclusive governance, the Global African Commission will transform symbolic solidarity into structured progress, bridging the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, and every ocean and sea that has ever separated us. Our diaspora is uniquely positioned to reshape global narratives. From Hollywood to Harvard, fashion runways to research laboratories, Africans abroad are no longer just consumers of culture. They are creators, innovators, and thought leaders. We must therefore support initiatives that center Africa perspectives in media, heritage, commerce, and education. We must invest in platforms that amplify our voices and honor our truth. We must dignify ourselves and be proud of our heritage. We must change the rhetoric and the language. Why black devils are not white Satan? And why not white goat? Why not white goat instead of black sheep? To our diaspora brothers and sisters, you are not guests, you are family members. You are always welcome home. Not only to live, but to invest, to mentor, and to build. Whether in Lagos or London, Accra or Atlanta, Algiers or Paris, your roots are here, and your future must be here as well. You have intellectual property, outreach, skills, and innovation acquisition, not to talk of investable and remittances, and remittances that are very much needed on the continent and also wherever you may be. To our governments and institutions, let us backwards with deeds. Let us issue diaspora bonds, create welcoming investment policies, and embrace dual citizenship as a bridge, not a barrier. Let us make land available for residences, industries, offices, and other ventures. To our youth, let me say, know that your identity is whole, not fragmented. To be African is not defined by geography, but by heritage. And that heritage is your greatest strength. We must begin to correct what slavery, slave trade, and colonialism defined. We are not inferior to any other human race. Because of our pigmentation. I am proud of my color because I am created in God's image and likeness. Allow me to end with a Yoruba proverb. Ile ọba tójó, ẹwà ló bù sí. When a king's palace burns down, the rebuilt palace becomes more beautiful. This is the story of Africa and her diaspora. Those scattered, scared, and scarred, and silenced through centuries of displacement, oppression, exploitation, and marginalization. We are rebuilding. And what we are rebuilding through trade, through economic relationship, through culture, through Pan-Africanism, through unity of purpose and action, realistic and relevant action, will be more beautiful, more powerful, and more enduring than anything that had gone before. Let us go forward with clarity, courage, conviction, and great hope. Let us build the global Africa we want, the global Africa we deserve, and by ourselves, and for the world to share with us, and for the world to join us as we define and lead our future. We have had enough of received ideas, outsourcing our narratives, and living our stories for others to tell to suit their purpose. We must tell our story without recrimination, anger, or bitterness, but with commitment and resolve not to forget the past and to let the past compel a better and more glorious future through the unity, integration, and togetherness of Africa and its diaspora. God bless you, and God bless global Africa. Thank you.